region record breaker for January 2008, $18,000 around 5 engineering classes. That's pretty hot, huh? Pretty smart guy. Engineering stuff, look at that. Two-time branch manager, as I mentioned, DM in Clearwater now. Personal sales of $270,000. $40,000 last year on service calls as a manager. That's cool. $40,000 service calls. 10K SC3 push in 5 days. Here's a little 10K in 5 days on service calls. Yeah. All service calls. 20, here's the numbers, just so you guys are wondering about the numbers, how that breaks down. 27 set appointment service calls. 18 of them completed, 14 sales for $10,000. That's hot. That's hot. Sounds like a guy we want to learn from, huh? Everybody wants to talk about service calls. All right, one really cool, just random really cool facts here. Mike released his first book, Grab Tomorrow, Your Best Year Ever. He's a professional youth speaker at Tampa Bay area outside of the business as well. So obviously this guy knows how to deliver, which is exciting too. So let's give Mike a big round of applause.
Well, I am super pumped and honored to speak to this group, especially because I never had the opportunity or privilege to connect with the elite candidates, and I'm really pumped, and hopefully I can really give you some value, and that's my goal. And my goal is to really help you use service calls to provide that 99% of our customer base at Cutco that never takes advantage of our guarantees, to provide them a good service that they paid for, to help you develop a client relationship with them, to develop some repeat business while moving towards some of your personal goals that you have. But I really want to know how I can serve you, so I'd really like to know what are some things that you want to gain through this message. I put all my goods in the handout, but I'm not going to sit here and go through my handout with you. I'd really like to help serve you. So if I could get some feedback from you real quick, what are some things that you'd like to gain from me delivering this message today?
Getting leads from your service.
So leads, okay. I'm going to write some of this down real quick, just so I can make sure I can hit these. So leads, okay. I have a couple things I'll hit on that. What else?
Just upselling, selling more pieces.
So just increasing average order, is that okay? Or ups, or?
Selling to senior citizens.
Okay, selling to senior citizens.
The geriatrics.
Uh,
with you there, but.
Okay.
And then wish list transition.
Wish list transition. So into the close or into the into the wish list or out of the wish list?
Into it, like
Into. Like how to create, how to build it,
yeah,
or how to close it.
As they're looking through the book, sometimes if they don't want to
Okay, so
break
building.
things down.
Cool.
Yeah, kind of on that as far as like doing the wish list while you're sharpening and like I guess control of it, I would say.
Okay.
Making sure that you're not going too fast while you're sharpening and while you're doing the book.
Okay. Cool. Anything else that you're like at this point of our
Customers that have had to go for 25, 35, 40 years and haven't purchased or had service call centers.
They haven't had a service call in 30, 40 years.
35, 40 years and going for sales from there. I know it's more than just senior citizens. I'm finding a lot of that.
So yeah, dropping the price after they have bought 20,
So the
25
value,
years.
Yeah, it's just everything. It's like, it's like
And getting all the objections on the phone, like, I don't need to sharpen, that's kind of basic, but it's always I'm running.
just getting in the house.
Yes,
Cool.
because I was like, I've got what I need, I don't really need anything else, like, well, you got some sales stuff, yeah, right, so.
Good. So we can nail this list today. That'd be an effective message. Okay, I'll make sure that I nail this these checkpoints. My main goals that I wanted to get across were a lot of this too. So I want to get across the front end closing, which is the phone, to get into the house. I think that's important. I want to make sure that I could help you with some of the tips that I have that I feel have helped me with my goal sharing. I think that's important. For goal sharing, selling the wellness mats and using the wellness mat as a lead-in, I think has made a giant difference for my service call. And I'd like to show you how to use the business gifts on the service calls to create some repeat business. Because I think those are a couple of things that have helped me a little bit over the course of the year to sell 40 grand as a district manager. So my office did something like 620 this year, and I still was able to sell 40 grand around it. And I still like to sell Cutco. I have a clientele base. I like to make sure that they're satisfied. So I have about 30 to 40 minutes with you to get these things accomplished. And my overall outcome is so that way at the end here we can create a movement, because I'm from New Jersey and I moved to Florida to go to USF, and I didn't know anyone in the area. So if there was a great established service call program for me back 11 years ago or 10 years ago, that would have been awesome. And it would have made a giant difference for me to sell a lot more. I'd probably be closer to $400,000 or $500,000 if there was a good program set up. So with your help and with this program, I think we can create a movement in our region where we can generate more repeat business and client relationship with a lot of our customers. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to, and I'm not going to go in this order, but I'm going to make sure I nail these points, okay? I'm going to start with front end closing. On the phone, I put my phone approach here. You've had many phone approaches, but I think there's a couple of value points in the phone approach that I have on the front page of this handout. The first one I want to share with you is asking a couple of questions during the approach. So it's like personalized. So for example, it says a quick courtesy call. I apologize for not getting a hold of you sooner. So I start off with an apology when I chat with them. And then after I start with the apology, I ask the question, so are you still using the knives? So I engage them in conversation. So I think that little transition in the beginning, and then I don't make it sound like I'm calling a database of people. Of course, there's different types of service calls you're calling, but the front end close is making them feel like this is something they're supposed to be getting a call for. It's not a random call, so there's a reason behind it. So like something I'll say something like, yeah, I just got to the office and I looked on my desk and I saw that your representative, Johnny Rep, who you bought Cutco from a few years ago, he's moved on since Cutco. So I'm taking over some of his clients to make sure that they get the service that they paid for, and you're one of those clients. So I just want to make sure you're getting the service that you paid for when you originally bought your knives. You see the feel? So it's like, I apologize for not getting a hold of you sooner. I'm calling about something you paid for already. It's called front end closing. I'm closing on the phone on getting into the door. I love the trial close question of, do you still live on blank street? I think that's a little tiny trial close. If based on the answer to that question, that's how I know if I'm getting the appointment. So if they say, yeah, I'm still on that street, awesome, I'm getting an appointment. If they're like, I'm not interested, then I don't have to finish the approach. I can tell based on right there. So that helps me, and then I just very assertively, I'm like, cool, I'm going to be in your area, and then I just set up the appointment. One of the things, see where it says no need to handle that objection, I feel like I handle it pretty well because I don't get the appointment set up in that moment, but I have like backups because sometimes it overlaps, reschedules, you get done real fast, like the woman's not there and she left me with the kid, you know, some stuff like that happens. I'm quick, I'm in, I sharpen their knives and leave, and then I call that other customer, I'm like, I'm right up the road from you, are you still home? So something I say on the phone is like, hey, no worries, like I'm glad to hear everything's in good shape. I'll tell you though, people definitely notice the difference when I'm finished with it. And it only takes a couple of minutes. I'll tell you what, is it cool if I call you on Saturday when I'm right in your neighborhood, and if you're home, I'll swing by, is that cool? So I get permission to call them, and then I call them on that same day, and I'll get some same day appointments. That's not uncommon for me to create. So a little thing there. Also creating add-on more appointments, I like that as well. As far as starting with creating and closing on the phone, one of the things that I like to say at the end of the phone conversation is say, oh, by the way, I gotta give you my representative number to confirm the appointment. And I think a lot of you guys probably do this, but I like using my sister. For some reason, I find moms like to be the older, big, cool sister, or like the cool aunt. So it's like, this is the number I give my sister anytime she buys Cutco for me, and that way she gets my discount. So just write that down. While I'm sharpening, I'll bring a catalog you can flip through just in case you want to see some of the new products. But have that number there just in case you ever want to buy Cutco in the future. That way you get my discount. Is that cool? They're like, yeah, that's awesome. So that little subtlety I feel makes a difference when I get there, so they know I'm going to be there on the phone. Any questions or any thoughts on the phone before I move into the actual appointment? Sure.
I was working with someone last week who mentioned how this phrase that a lot of people are using now, free service that you pay for already, how that kind of contradicts, like how are you calling it a free service if you tell them that they paid for it? So
in fact, I don't think I have free service. Do I have free service in here?
This is that you pay for when you buy your knives.
Yeah, I don't use free service.
Yeah, it's part of the guarantee.
Yeah, I don't say free service.
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be free if you pay for it.
Yeah. I intentionally don't say free because you hear free, automatically people are like, there's a catch.
Right.
So I learned that from John Berghoff a long time ago. It's like, nah. Yeah, it comes with the warranty that you paid for. Yeah, great point. Glad you brought that up.
Real quick, I've run into the don't need to sharpening, but I've also run into the, well, I don't want to purchase anything else.
Oh, that's awesome, Ms. Jones. Let's role play. So did you want me to, so just time, I'm not gonna be like a cable guy, I'm not gonna be around, I'm not gonna keep you waiting all day. If I could 100% be there between 7:15 and 8:45 at night. Does that work for you?
Well, that does work, but I'm not planning on buying anything. I don't need anything else. I have the knives I have work great.
Oh, that's awesome. Cutco's designed to work great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm just gonna go over there, I'm gonna service you, I'm gonna take care of everything for you. Is that cool?
Okay.
Cool. I'm just going to show you everything, but I will tell you there's a lot of cool new stuff that have come out. I'll bring it, you can flip through it, and then you can make a wish list of some things maybe down the road or maybe gifts, and just use my discount code whenever you want to buy Cutco, and just let me know so you can get my discount. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but in the future, that way you have a representative you can always count on. Is that cool?
Okay.
Something like that. Any other thoughts on the phone? Cool, let's move on. I'm not going to go through every point. I'm just going to start and highlight a couple. If anything jumps out at you that you want me to elaborate on, I'd love to. So the first one I want to go through is arrival to the home. I'm going to act it out for you. I show up to the house. All I have is my planner in hand. Show up to the house, knock on the door. That's it. Like I'm there to inspect. You know, like, hey, how are you? Good to meet you. And they're like, oh, cool, come on in. And on my way in, I say, oh, cool, come on. Who are all these people? Are these your kids? Oh, who's this one? Oh, Johnny, where's this ticket? Oh, what a good looking family. Any single 29-year-old females? No? Okay, I'm just kidding. Cool. Like literally within the first 30 seconds of me walking in their house and finding something, whether it's the fish tank. I walk in, they're like walking to the kitchen, they walk right past me, I'm like, Miss Joan, is this yours or is this your husband's? This thing is awesome. I know nothing about fish tanks. Like, what is this? I'm trying to find something where I can connect. Like anything. A sports, something sports. Something, a travel. You know, one of the service calls I did recently, I couldn't find anything. There was like nothing on the way to the kitchen. I get to the kitchen on the refrigerator. There was like magnets of different places. So she's like going over there and I'm like stopped in my track and I'm looking. I'm like, Miss Jones, who went to all these places? Not you, right? These gifts. You've been to all these places? No way. Tell me about, boom. Instant rapport, right? Instant connection there. So before I talk about knives, before I even get to the kitchen, I'm connected with my customer. I feel like that is so big because now they care. Once I get to my goals, they actually care about me because I've already cared about them. That's one big nugget. So find a conversation topic. Once I feel the connection is made, I'll transition into Cutco rapport. And then I like grab all the knives. I make myself very at home, like very confident. Now, for those of you guys that don't know me, like I like to chill at home on my guitar and like read a book. And I'm actually, believe it or not, in my personal life, pretty much an introvert. But in my like professional life, I'll like go dancing and all this stuff. Like I'm advertising myself. But so for me to really put myself out there, I really need to get in state. I'm a banker innovator, for those of you guys that know CBI, so I really need to put myself out there, but I understand that's the most intelligent thing for me to do in order to create good business. In order to maintain an $845 average order, and in order to have the results I want to have, I need to put myself out there, I need to connect. So I got to move past those limiting beliefs that I used to have for myself. So for those of you guys that might have it, it's like, ooh, I don't know. But you got to establish that right in the first, I'm talking 6 seconds. They're casting judgment. They're either saying, I'm going to own you, or you're the expert. One of those two things are taking place here, right? So that is an interview in itself. But once I feel that connection's there, I talked a little bit about the rapport, the Cutco knives, you know all how to do all that, Cutco rapport, then I interrupt them. They're talking there, whatever they're talking about, like, hey, Miss Jones, let me just run out to the car real quick. I'm going to grab all my stuff so I can just take care of your knives. So the entire time when I'm out in my car grabbing my stuff, what are they thinking? What a nice guy, right? What a nice guy. What a great service. You know, he's just here to help me. Didn't mention anything about buying, nothing. You see that? So I'm planting that seed in the head before I even start sharpening their knives. I feel like that makes a giant difference. When I come into the house, I got my duffel bag, I got my wellness mat, And I have a giant smile on my face, and I just lay the mat down. I just grab my stuff. I say, Miss Jones, if you want these knives sharpened, you gotta do me a favor. You gotta kick off the shoes, and you gotta stand on that thing. Are you serious? Do you want the knife sharpened? All right. Kicks off the shoes, and it's so funny. For those of you guys that use the wellness match, they're like, oh. Right? You know, it's so funny. And I'm just sharpening it, and I'm like, how sick is that thing, right? They're like, how much are these? It's like, honestly, I don't even know. They just come with the upgrades. I mean, every single person gets one of those. They're awesome. Simple. Right? Just a little, like, it's so super subtle. It's like, I don't even know how much, they come with the upgrade, they're awesome. Right? And I take mine everywhere. My sister has a barbershop, she has wellness mats in her barbershop. My chiropractor has wellness mats. My buddy picked up a couple, he's a pharmacist. Some of my clients, they'll typically get like packages of like 10 or 5, sometimes even 3. Like one of my last customers, they bought 3, one for the garage where the husband works, one for his kitchen, so that way when they're washing the dishes and doing their prep work, and then one in the bathroom where they're doing their makeup. But just one comes in the upgrade. So, and like I said, they're awesome. They're really, really cool. It's a new partner. Cutco just partnered with them or in August of last year. They're so sick. Pretty cool, right, Miss Jones? That's it. Super subtle. First seat-plan of an upgrade. And they're like, oh. I can't tell you how many times an upgrade just because they think the mat just comes with it. They just want the mat. Like, awesome. Cool. Let me pause right now. Any thoughts on the first part right there on the wellness mats and introducing that? I know I skipped over a bunch of bullet points. Anything you want me to elaborate on before I continue? Yes. Does anybody need a copy? Oh. Friend, yeah, if you could pass these down. Cool. All right. Seed planting, the plant spontaneity, that's Hal Elrod. If you ever get a chance to 20 minutes to listen to his message that he gave on, and that's what revolutionized. All the stuff I'm teaching, it was not mine. It's Hal's, Jamie King's, John Berghoff's, Curtis J. Hughes, and Andy Jonti. It's pretty much everything I use. All right. So the plant spontaneity, seed planting, the upgrades. Like for example, I'll say Ms. Jones, or you can see some of the things like the cutting boards. I use the cutting boards a lot, but I use the cutting boards to say, can I see your cutting boards? They'll usually have like a small one with a little handle on it. It's like, Ms. Jones, do you have the larger one, but like the larger prep board with the juice groove and it sits on the legs where you slide a plate underneath it and still paint, right? I know they don't have it because they would have brought it out. You don't have that one? Oh, okay, no worries. It comes with the upgrade if you chose to do that. Real subtle. Ms. Jones, I'll take a look at your scissors. Do you want to grab those? I'll inspect them, make sure they're good. You didn't get the scissors? They come with the set. Oh, no worries. They're thrown in the upgrade as well. Now it's not like system where it's like so obvious. It's very subtle. It's super, super subtle. I find that helps the best. All right. So my favorite phrase is one of the many reasons why my customers upgrade is because they use my discount. So that number I gave you on the phone, they use my discount, and then they just pay the difference. They don't pay for the whole thing. They pay the difference plus my discount. It breaks down to be super, super affordable. And a lot of times I'm able to give them like a lot of Mother's Day and Father's Day gifts for free when they do their upgrade, and just makes so much sense for them. So if that happens, it's totally cool. I'll show you some of those at the end. Real subtle, like a lot of these. So by the time I get to the wish list, they're preparing. I'm framing it. A lot of pre-framing there. Cool, let me go to the blue book. I think this is awesome, what Hal does. And the way I set my blue book, I took Hal's ideas and I took Andy's and I set my blue book up that way. So I brought it with you just so you could see. So I take my blue book, I have everything out on the table as I'm doing the sharpening. I don't care whether I'm at the kitchen table or the countertops, it doesn't make a difference to me. And then I use the Hal's thing. I'm so sorry to have you like watch me sharpen. I mean, this is the most boring thing ever. Here, you could just flip through the catalog. And I'm like watching them, so just play along with it if you don't mind. Actually, Miss Jones, do you mind if I share with you my goals, like why I'm in your kitchen right now, like sharpening your guys, like what my motivation behind this? Is that okay? Sure. Awesome. See, as a student, I'm gonna do it live for you. Is that okay? Sure. Cool. As a student, I actually won a scholarship with USF. I paid my whole way through college. I'm the youngest of 8. I grew up in New Jersey, and I finished number 23 out of 30,000 students that semester. Funded my education. It was awesome. When I graduated in 08, they offered me a career position, so I've been a trainer of Cutco students for the last couple of years now. It's been awesome, and I've really developed a lot of people. So that's my team. I have a team of people here in Pinellas County. One of my big passions, though, is giving back. And I'm an aspiring youth speaker right now, so I love making a difference in our community. So I speak. I have over 300 hours, 200 this last year, but over 300 hours of voluntary complimentary speaking on like interview skills, running workshops, just to help young professionals with life outside the classroom, and it's awesome. So I decided to release a book and publish a book and create a series and create a website, everything. The only challenge is, Ms. Jones, as much as I want to give, none of that's free. And I have to pay for it all. So all the money I'm making from these appointments is funding this project that I'm really excited about. So, and what's really cool is I just hit my $250,000 milestone. A lot of my customers have been really supportive towards this by introducing me to a lot of people. So if you know anyone in the education field, if you know anyone that is an author, if you know anyone that's in web design, if you know anyone that's just owns a business, that would be amazing. I would love to connect with them and learn from them a little bit. That'd be awesome. And I'll tell you what, if you get inspired today where you want to like get anything at all, some people want to upgrade their whole kitchen, some people want to just upgrade their set, some people do all their gifts and accessories for the year, some people do business gifts. Like if you want to do anything, I will give you the best discount possible using my discount code I gave you, because all the money is going towards a really good cause, just so you know. So those are some of my goals I'm really excited about, and I just released the first book in the series, and I'll give you my business card at the end. You can feel free to get a free copy as well. Cool? So time out. Any observations or feedback from you? You guys are like goal sharing. You guys know goal sharing.
Yeah.
I want some feedback real quick.
I think it's good that it's short.
So I know what's going on with you.
Very passionate.
Passionate, short, inspiring.
I think the way you tie it in with all of the money I'm earning from these home appointments going towards his goals, I think that makes sense to them. They get it.
Yeah.
I like that you show them that I'm not being selfish. I'm really trying to give back to others, and you were real with her. You're like, yeah, I want to do this, but it's gonna cost money. Like, no duh, because like, I just think it's cool because it shows that you're being selfless, but you still need help too to help other people. So it's kind of like help me to help other people, and then that empowers her because she's like, well, I want to help. I want to be a part of this. So it really drew her in.
Awesome observations, because I really try to get as strategic as possible with the goal sharing, as much as possible. Grace?
And the recommendation seeds that you just like sprayed all over the kitchen.
That's how I See, I average. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's good and what's not good, and you can tell me what's considered good. What would be considered like a good average amount of recommendations on a service call? Average. 15, 20 would be good on service calls. I would say that's great. I would say 15 to 20 would be great if it's an average. If it's like if you consistently are getting 15 to 20, like you should be giving this talk. Like I need to sit down because I'm not getting 15 to 20 average, but I'm a consistent. I get some 20s, I get some 5s, but I'm a consistent average of about 8 recommendations. But I'm getting the right 8 recommendations. I'm getting 8 recommendations that are helping me towards my goals, whether they own Cutco or they don't own Cutco. But I haven't done a live demo. I can't even tell you the last time I did. I did one demo. It was a disaster just because I was doing so many service calls. But I love service calls. But anyway, so selling Cutco as a non-student, service calls is I find a lot easier for me at least. But so I'm going to go ahead and continue unless there's any other thoughts on the goal sharing. I know I kind of have something scripted here a little bit for you.
There's the just dropping all the different options they have. Upgrade your kitchen, upgrade your set, upgrade gifts, business gifts, like you're throwing it all out there. Like
all of it, right? Thank you. All of it. Just put it all on the table, let them pick what they like. Here's what I want to do real quick for each of you, so that way you can actually gain value from this. Why don't we take 60 seconds real quick and write down some of your goals and some of the way you might be able to tie some of your goals into getting your customer inspired to take action. So that way you can actually have some bullet points of some things. And you heard some of my bullet points. See, this, Google it, and this is like the most, like looking at it, like this is the most like, not fancy, like non-merchant. I literally took Google images, I put some things I want, put it on here, put it in a keynote and printed it. Like it's so like blah, but it gets the point across. So I have my public speaking, the book, manage my team, I put field training, record breaker, milestone, Sometimes I did the motorcycle road trip to the Dolphins game, so I was tying them into that in August. Now I've been talking about like health and fitness. Those are some of the things I'll talk about. And so anything that you're passionate, that you can get passionate about, that's selfless, or that's on purpose, that you could use their help towards, whether it's through recommendations or means. Here's another 10 seconds, just collect some thoughts. All right. Now, as far as, let me see how I'm doing with handling some of these. All right. So, as far as the value for the lack of service in a few years to senior citizens, I sell Cutco to senior citizens, but I'm also intelligent with my business. Okay? If I'm stuck in a group of people that are not prospects, I'm going to try to get out of that group of people as fast as possible. So you could do one of two things, and hopefully you can appreciate the honest feedback. You could either invest the energy to get good at this, or you could invest the energy just to get out of it and get to prospects. So that way you're not stuck with people that are not in your target audience. And either way, you're going to have to invest energy. I would just choose to get out of it, get to their kids as fast as possible, and then go from there, and then develop a new lead base. That's what I would do. If you want some tips on how to connect with them, I mean, simple answers that you probably already know of. I mean, the answers are probably in this room. I'll probably give you the same generic answers you already have. What are some of those generic answers? How would you service someone who's owned Cutco for 30 or 40 years that doesn't see the value anymore? What are some thoughts?
I would say just not, one thing I never ever mentioned, like, don't talk a whole lot about like how it lasts forever, because I don't care.
Yeah. That's a
like because I work a lot in Port Charlotte where there's old people. Gifts is big too, I would say, and just like getting something that they would be excited about. Specifically, like I had a woman who bought a set, like a full set, because she couldn't use the old table knives that she had.
Yeah.
And it's like, just finding what specific, because they're old and it's hard for them to cut, so.
And not just that, also, it's like getting them excited about having them pass those products up to their grandchildren.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Legacy is huge. Legacy fires up older people, 100%.
They deserve it at that point.
Deserve. That's another word I always use as well. You deserve
As
it.
we get this point of strength, you just deserve it.
Spending your life using happy knives, mine.
Yeah. Deserve it. Legacy. I think one piggyback off of that as well. One of my last customers, she bought like $2,700 from me on the last day, on the last appointment of that 10K push. And I sat in her kitchen. I just shared my goals super passionately, and I said, "Here's the deal. We're ever going to get Cutco today, it could be a great discount, yada yada, all that in the beginning." And I just created this wish list. And I went through and I wrote down every single person that she would ever buy a gift for. And I said, if there was a way for me to save you money and get this over with and save you the hassle of never having to go to the store for the next 2-3 years of gift buying, could you be open to at least seeing if we might be able to take care of some of these gifts? Here's the best part. She didn't even have freaking Cutco. I booked up the service call for her to sharpen her crappy knives because she gave away her Cutco to her kids because she doesn't cook anymore.
So what was the sale?
$2,700.
What did you get?
She bought a flatware chest as a gift. She bought it was like 4 K-bars. She bought it was literally a bunch of random stuff, like 2 or 3 entertainer packs.
None of them were not for herself.
She'd buy anything for herself. It was all like just taking care of all the gifts for other people. She was 83 years old. She was a teacher for 60 years. Wow. Yeah, and like this tiny house in St. Pete, and I pull up, I'm like, great. I'm like 2,400 away, like, dude! Like, how am I gonna do this? But so it's up here. It's more than anything. But if I'm developing a long-term business, short-term sales, I can give you tips. But if I'm trying to develop a long-term business, which is what we're all doing, I would just get out of that and get some prospects, which are those middle-aged moms, soccer moms.
So are you asking specifics with the recommendations to do that? Like,
Yeah, and I'll get to racks. I'm going to spend majority of this. I'm going to speed through the sales stuff, the rest of the sales stuff, and then I'm going to spend the last bit. I'm going to leave about 12 minutes left for just all recommendations and Q&A. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Just because I think there's like one really cool thing that I think I do with the selling. So they're flipping through the book now. They're flipping through the book. They're flipping through, and it's the same blue book. Then boom, I have the kitchen, the Cutco kitchen here. As soon as they get to the Cutco kitchen, I interrupt them. Right? Those are like totally Pal and Andy, and they look at him like, "Have you seen the entire Cutco kitchen before?" So I like, "Stop. Have you seen this before?" No? Oh my gosh. All right. So there's 3 legs to the stool. There's the knives, the flatware, and the pots and pans. You know how awesome the knives are. Now I know the set looks like the size of like a microwave, you know, but it's actually not. It's almost what you have already, just a couple extra tools. Well, I'll do it live so you can try to draw out what I'm doing here. It's just a couple extra tools. So for example, you know like how you have that smaller paring knife? Sometimes it's really, so it's perfect for tops like strawberries and nectarines, but it's really sometimes a little too small. Do you ever find that? I have a lot of customers that. So it comes with a larger paring knife. And like a really large chopping knife, it's really good for like prepping, like carrots and celery, but it's really hard to get a good mince because it's so large, so you get a mini chopper in the set. So it just comes with a couple of those extra tools just to make life a little bit easier for you. And that's why a lot of people upgrade. Like you ever find like those table knives you have is just not enough, or sometimes your husband says they're a little small. The upgrade comes with either a larger steak knife, you could get a couple larger steak knives, or you just get more of the table knives. So it just completes your kitchen. Comes with a mat, comes with more cutting boards, comes with your sharpener, a care kit. It just completes everything, and it's only the size of this sheet of paper. So it's not super large. So then I pick up my book and I put it right here on the countertop. I'll say, so it looks something like this. So it's not bad. And I always catty corner it right there next to the sink. So I say, so it would look just like that, except it'll be like jewelry for the kitchen. It looks beautiful, and it'll be like the centerpiece of your house. It's awesome. You'll love it. Something simple, something simple like that. And then I stop talking about it. And then I just say, so that's the complete set. We have the flatware, the forks and spoons, which are awesome. You know, and then I tell them a little bit about the flatware and then the cookware, regalware. Talk a little bit about that. So I say, yeah, that's the whole kitchen. But yeah, anyway, let me go back to sharpening. Anybody draw out a couple of little subtleties that I did there to help you come back to it? Anybody draw out that?
You did 2 knives for the upgrade.
That's it. That's all I talked about. I'm not selling them on 65 knives. It's crazy. You're going to sell them off of this set. They're going to think, the moment they think to themselves, I wouldn't use all of those, is the moment they're going to not buy it. So the very subtle, it's like, yeah, it just got a couple extra tools. It's not that large. It seems large, but it's not that large. I love the cell phone analogy. You guys all know the cell phone analogy? It's scripted in here. It's freaking awesome. It's money. I don't even know where I got it from, but it's like the most amazing analogy ever. So I'll just say it for you, and you guys could read it. I don't know where you find it while I'm saying it. So Ms. Jones, it's kind of like a cell phone. It's more than you're used to when you first get that cell phone, but it's not more than you would use. For example, remember that first cell phone you had, right? And it was just like for calling, right? Imagine going back to that now. All right? I don't know about you, Ms. Jones, but like I use my Facebook, my email, my GPS, my calculator, my camera. If you had to take all that stuff away from me now, I'd be lost. But back when I was like 15 years old and the phone was just used for calling, that's all I knew, so therefore I felt that's all I needed. And when I heard all of this other stuff, I was like, I wouldn't use it. But now that I have it, you couldn't take it away from me. It's the same thing with the set. Once people upgrade their phones, once people upgrade their sets, their cars, they can never go back. And I would love for you to enjoy that as well.
That is so dirty.
That's so dirty. Oh, you guys like that, huh? Cool. I love that analogy. I don't know where I heard it. I can't take credit I made it up. I don't think I did it at least. All right. All right. So that's that. Let me do my business gift transition real quick, and then I'll spend the rest of the time on the recommendations. So business gift, and then I'll show you how to do the wish list, and then boom. Ready? I have an actual wallet prepared for my service calls. This isn't it. So I actually have a wallet that is for my service calls that has gift cards in my wallet. So I can do this, what I'm about to do with you, as if I was about to do it. So they flip through, they do all the gadgets, they see all the accessories. So I have all the accessories, and then I have separated are my gifts. So then I have my gifts in the very back of the book. So I have like all the fishing knives, all the accessories. So they flip through all the cool stuff, and then I have my gifts in the back here. As soon as they get to this sheet, I say, Ms. Jones, real quick, I don't know about you, but isn't it so hard? I'll do it live. Isn't it so hard sometimes when you like try to buy gifts for some people and you like just never know what to get them? Like my sister, for example. She's a real estate agent. She never knows what to give people, so sometimes she'll give like a closing gift. And she'll give like a fruit basket or Home Depot gift card or something along those lines, right? You guys probably know this because I think I got it from Jamie King. Now I'm thinking about it, but anyway, I'll just do it for you live anyway. So she give a gift card, Home Depot, something like that, and it's not memorable. It's nothing that they ever will use. And like, think about what the purpose of a gift is, right? It's something that's memorable, something they'll use, something that can last a long time. And I don't know about you, but I have all these gift cards, and I take my gift cards and I say, Applebee's, Olive Garden, another Applebee's, Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't even know where I got these. I always forget I have them. I never use them. They just take up space in my wallet. But what's cool is I asked my sister, I said, imagine if you got like a spreader or like a chopper or like I pick up one of the, imagine if they have one of these, right? And engraved on it was your name, your phone number, and said something like spread the word, right? Imagine if it said something like that, and every time they're washing that knife, and every time they're looking at it, they're always reminded of who? You. And you can just see it like, what a good idea. What a good idea. I said, I know, right? My sister's a genius. You know? I said, my sister's a genius. So what she started doing, she just puts her name and number on it, and that's what she gives as gifts. But not just my sister. She does that for like weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, holidays. You know, I also have like a customer of mine who's a mortgage broker who gives business gifts all the time. He loves it. So these are awesome. Thank you. These are also, all of these are engravable. All of them are customizable. We have great ideas. We also do have gift cards too, but I know I just told you gift cards are stupid, but Cutco gift cards are really good. And they always laugh. They always laugh on that. So, but these are also good. So, boom, that's another seed plant. So now, by the time I get to my wish list, now you might say, Mike, what are they doing the entire time you're sharpening, right? They're flipping through the book, and I keep interrupting them. Like that's what's happening. So by the time I actually get to the end of the appointment, by the time I get to the wish list, it's so simple because the whole time I planted all these seeds, and it's like, cool, let's go ahead and I transition a wish list, and I have it like scripted word for word on what I say. So let's go ahead and set your wish list. This is from Hal Elrod. I do this as a courtesy for all of my clients because I follow up with my customers every couple of years, and I do this sharpening for you, so you never have to worry about contacting Cutco. I'll do this for you every couple of years. And that way, every time I come over, you don't have to flip through the catalog every time. I'll just write down everything, and if anything goes on special, it's not necessarily things you're going to get today. It's just we just have it all written down there, and then we'll always have these wish lists. And I actually have a sheet. If you email me, I would love to give you the sheet I have. It's nothing crazy, but it's a wish list with a testimonial on it, and then it has their birthday, anniversary, husband's birthday on there. So I actually follow up. That's how I just sold $4,000 on Monday, actually, through like follow-ups. I had 6 orders or 7 orders on Monday to finish off this trip as manager because I didn't know if we were going to hit it. So we hit it, which is awesome for Punta Cana, but we hit it by the $4,000 sold, so I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, so I'll totally hook you up with that. I call my customers on their birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that, and they love it. I think they love it, at least. It makes me feel good. All right. So, but that's how I added the wish list. Let me spend the rest of our time today on the recommendations because I feel like that's the area that most of you said that you want to get good at. I ask for recommendations before I come up with the price. Okay, so before I give them the price, my wish lists are usually about between $4,000 to $7,000 at this point by the time I'm done, depending on what they own. So that's how using everything I just taught you, the wish list is simple. They're writing down everything. Like everything is on the wish list. They're writing it, not me. It gives them a sense of ownership, and they're writing down their wish list. And I don't say upgrade. I just write upgrade. So is it a wish to upgrade your kitchen? It is just cool. Write upgrade. Well, what comes in the upgrade? Cool. And then I just show them, and then I'll show them. But most of the time they don't even ask. They just want to know. And then I'll show them before I show them the prices. I'll say, just so you know, this is everything that'll come in your upgrade. Sell the emotion of the upgrade. That's all you need to sell. You don't need to sell what comes in it. Let the emotion buy your product line, not your logic. Let the emotions buy Cutco. Emotions always buy. Okay, so speak to their emotions, because then the emotions say, I need that, and now it's logic. So emotions always sell. So then you get to recommendations. while I'm gonna go ahead and work out your list, remember how I told you some of the goals I'm working on? I'll just do it live. It's probably not gonna be verbatim, but it'll give you an idea. It's right here, recommendation. Remember the goals I showed you, told you about earlier, like why I'm in your kitchen right now, like doing your sharpening and everything? Remember that, like the book, the speaking and all that? Awesome. Well, this is the most important part out of everything, is because every time I do one of these sharpenings, it gets me one step closer towards my goal of being a professional speaker, of releasing and publishing more books, and I love meeting new people. I'm in a chapter in my life where I just learn so much from other people, and it's awesome. And that's the only way. There's no lists. Everything with Cutco is word of mouth. There's no like random strangers for me to call to sharpen up their knives. There's no database. It's only word of mouth. You see how much I'm like getting that across? Okay. The reason why is because on the phone when I originally called them, how can I effectively get that across? Because I told them on the phone, well, the reason why you're getting a call is because your rep is no longer active, and I'm just helping your rep out, and I'm helping you out because of the service you paid for. Does everyone see that? I feel it ties in perfectly when I get to recommendations, because they were in a solicitation call. They were a favor. See that? Yep. So there's no, it's all word of mouth. That's the only way it works. That's the only way people hear about it. I know there's the EIE. Have you enjoyed Cutco? If you feel like it's a good investment, it's made life a little bit easier for you. I do that on the testimonial. I don't do that on my recommendations. I feel like, number one, it's too salesy, and number two, I'm focusing on the product and I'm trying to focus on me. I don't want them to recommend Cutco. I want them to recommend me and my service. Does everyone see that? Okay, that's what I'm asking for, an introduction, me and my service, not the product. So I do that during the testimonial, which is written up here somewhere else. So then I just go into the rest of the rec approach. So while I write up your order, while I figure out your price and clean everything up, you just need to jot down 200 to 300 people. I'm just going to show just like 10 or 20 that might be nice enough to help me out, take a look, or could use your courtesy sharpening. One thing that I did create an order doing this. Only one order, all right, but I did create an order, is talking about the online appointment. Right here, it says, there's a little phrase here. Not necessarily people would buy, just the nicest people you know. The best part is the company came out with an online appointment so they could live anywhere in the country, and I just take them through a few quick online videos. I did that because she's like, oh, that's cool. And it was like an online service call that I ended up doing for her, and she bought like a couple of items. It was nothing crazy. But what I have found is by having them write down people that live out of area, it triggers what? More people that live here. Does everyone see that? So there's nothing bad that can come from them writing down more people. So it gives them an open scope of who they can write down. So they write down as many of those types of people. And I say the sponsor, this is how I get more product samples. This is how I add more product to my sample set. And this is a little like leaving piece on the recommendations. I say, and just so you know, Ms. Jones, the more names that are on your sheet, the lower the price will be on my sheet. And that's a like tiny, small smirk, you know, that I like kind of throw out there. It's like a joke, but I'm serious. All right. So those are a couple of things. I got about 2 minutes. So any questions? Did I effectively handle these? I think I did. But anything else? I got about 3 minutes before they come in and kick me off. Please.
So you may have already mentioned this. I might have missed it. But so when you're getting recommendations, your core focus would be on people that already have Cutco.
For me, I don't. Like for me, yes. Right. But I don't let them know that. My core focus when I'm with them is to get recommendations to people that can help me with my goals. Right. And I'm really glad you asked this, because just so you know, the book I just released, the website I just created, every move I've made in my personal life came from one of my customers. Christine Mattioli, I went to Sam Fawcett, one of my guys' field training, and he watched me do this appointment. Her boyfriend is the president of the Chambers of Commerce South Tampa. He recommended me his friend, Chris, who's the owner of TampaBayBusinessOwners.org, and him and his wife, she just released a book. She gave me her book on how to brand yourself. He gave me an hour of his time on how to brand myself, took all that information. They networked me through other people who branded themselves on how to create a website, how to do this. I got all this information free of charge from networking through all these people who came from that one customer, who was a customer of mine 8 years ago, by the way, who I called her 3 different times, who never wanted a sharpening, who finally said she wanted one. And then I was able to upgrade her to a homemaker from a studio, which is awesome. But not only that, I was able to network, not even about Cutco, but about my personal goals. It was awesome. It was awesome. And now I have relationships with these people, and it's really phenomenal. And I just connected her, Katie, who helped me, to another one who's just started moving up in Baltimore, and I connected them to share their audiences because they're very similar. Hers is Biz Women Rocks, and the other one's is the Pretty Girl movement. And I connected them so that way they have a joint interest. So that's another thing. Can you connect your customers?
What are you using as like your time buffer for them while they're running nowadays? Like I know some people that get done with their deal and their customer sees that and then they stop.
Oh yeah, I sometimes I'll interrupt them. Sometimes I'm like, that's super important. I definitely want you to continue working on that, but I gotta show you this deal I just worked out. And I show you how I work out the deal. I never show them individual prices. That's, you guys already know that, but I never show them individual prices. Separate sheet of my individual prices. On their sheet, it's upgrade. By the way, this is a little nugget. The catalog price, it tells you like the retail price of like a homemaker is like $13.45, right? The real price, but it's $11.49. But the real price of a homemaker is $13.45. So when I do the upgrade, I take the real price of an ultimate set. It's like 26, whatever it is. I always have a catalog because I never remember them. They're always changing. So it's like 2,600, but it's really 23 something. But it's really 2,600. So I use that 2,600 minus, say they own 700 minus 700 own equals, 1,900. Then I do plus flatware, cookware, everything. Boom. So your order size is $7,000. If you buy your product through Cutco. If you go through the catalog, your catalog number is 10% off, usually about that. So it would be about $700 off. So you get it for like $6,300. You do it from me today, I'll give them like 30%. I max it out. Max. Killer deal today. Jeans killer deal today. And I put it, and it's like $1,600 savings. Whatever it is, 30% off, whatever that comes out to. It's only this little deposit. It's all of you. This number right here, you put it down, you're done. You have all your gifts, your Cutco, your set, everything, you're done. And you never have to buy knives ever again. You're finished for the rest of your life. I'm gonna run out to my car real quick, and I'll be right back. Let me know what you think. What do you get? And then I grab a duffel bag I have in my car, or I have a box now, and I just come in with a box, and it's just a bunch of gadgets and fisherman solutions and Santoku knives, because those are always on the set. And I just say, all right, so if I place in this order, I can give you the Santoku knife, the fisherman solution, and an ice cream scoop today. Let me see what else and the cheese mix, right? Ms. Jones, if you wanted to go ahead and do this today, you could have these 4 items right here today and everything else will be delivered to you. Put it right in front of them. So what do you think? So that's how. So them saying no to this, them saying no to the order, they're saying, oh, I have to give you a salary. So I'm out of time, guys, but I'll be here, of course, all weekend. If you have anything else, let me know. Yeah, if you guys are
unbreaking.
Like I did this in another 6 months.
Yeah.
Cheers to your best year ever, guys. 2015. MikeAbramowitz.Grabtomorrow.org if you need to email me, just so you guys know. It's on the bottom. It's on the bottom of your handout.